Hi, welcome to my channel Bride of Fire. In this video, which I will be calling my Too Long Didn't Read series, I will be giving context to things discussed in the first episode of House of the Dragon without giving major spoilers for the show. This won't be a full-on breakdown of the episode or anything. I might do them, I'm not sure. I feel like that market is a little oversaturated, but I just wanted a space where casual viewers could go and learn some things, feel more confident, and not left out going into the next episode. It seems as if you can't really look up anything related to the show without getting a ton of spoilers, so hopefully these videos help. Let's just start at the beginning of the episode with the Great Council of 101. This event was held at Harrenhal, and if you remember from Game of Thrones, this is where Arya was Tywin's cupbearer. You know, when the writing for Game of Thrones was still really good. Anyway, that's a whole video on its own. But this event was held at Harrenhal simply because it's the only castle in Westeros big enough to hold 1,000 lords. I wish they had shown more of this event because it was huge. Thousands of people went because, by human nature, we're all just nosy as hell. But I'm sure it just wasn't within the budget to hire tons of extras. Anyway, the council was held for 13 days, and according to Archmaester Gladane, set the precedent that the Iron Throne would never pass to a woman. Next, we'll discuss Rhaenyra flying over King's Landing, but not because it made me cry thinking about Daenerys, but because something is missing within the views of the King's Landing skyline. The Sept of Baelor isn't there. Not because Cersei went back in time and blew that shit up again, but because it hasn't been built yet. In the first council meeting that we see, Corlys is desperately trying to bring Viserys' attention to the Stepstones. I won't add to this because the Stepstones will be a big part of the season, but I just wanted to say this is not our first time encountering the Stepstones in the Game of Thrones universe. If you remember from Season 2 and Season 3 of Game of Thrones, Salladhor Saan was a pirate from the Stepstones who helped Stannis and Davos in the Battle of Blackwater. This Weirwood scene had me messed up because they start talking about Nymeria and her 10,000 ships, and I swear if this isn't HBO subtly telling us that the next prequel will be about this, then I don't know what is, especially since they added the Rhoynar back into the King's titles, so it's now King of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men. And Nymeria was indeed part of the Rhoynar, so I feel like this is HBO righting that wrong and giving us a hint of what's to come in the next few years once this show is over. I am making it known now that we will always get a very prophetic bath scene in every first episode of the Game of Thrones universe, no matter the show. There was so much to unpack here, my notes for this were long as shit until I realized most of it was speculation and spoilers. But there are still callbacks to the original series and some things I want to touch on. So first we have this line of, "Don't they know dragons prefer heat?" which is a direct parallel to this scene.
It's too hot, my lady.
Turns out that dragon did in fact prefer heat. Emma also says, "I wouldn't be surprised if I hatched an actual dragon," which brings me back to this scene in Season 1.
He was scaled like a lizard, blind, with leather wings like the wings of a bat. When I touched him, the skin fell from his bones. Inside, he was full of grave worms.
So that right there, in my opinion, sounds like Daenerys gave birth to a little dragon baby. I loved how this tourney starts out with Rhaenys being called the Queen Who Never Was by Lord Baratheon, who is her cousin because her mother was Jocelyn Baratheon. And fun fact, the Baratheons supported her claim for the throne in the Council of 101. This tourney was awesome. You're going to really see the wealth and prosperity of the realm in this. HBO spared no expense here, and it just looks amazing, especially the costuming. I can't praise Janie Tamim enough because look at Daemon's armor. Like, they really did that. We had such great fan art over the years of Robert's Rebellion, and I think they took designs for Rhaegar's armor in some of these fan arts and just gave it to Daemon, which I am totally fine with, since we most likely won't get a Rebellion series. When Criston Cole takes off his helm, Alicent mentions that he's Dornish. I can only assume she says this because Dorne is actually not a part of the Seven Kingdoms yet. The Targaryens just kind of say they are, even though they really aren't. It's a little complicated. They are extremely resistant to the conquest of the Targaryens, and will be for some time. I don't know if HBO will explore any prequels about Baelor the Blessed, so I'll keep that part out, but this is me being hopeful. don't even want to talk about what happened to Emma in that birthing sequence. Homegirl deserved better than that shit. This funeral was really sad. I knew the baby died from the books, but I wasn't ready to see both bodies laying there like that. But yeah, there's been a lot of debate about whether Millie's delivery of Dracarys was better than Amelia's and vice versa. And I'm here to say shut your mouth. Just stop. Rhaenyra's Dracarys would be pure High Valyrian, while Dany's would be with a Tyroshi accent. It's totally different since Dany speaks a mixture of Low and High Valyrian, and Rhaenyra has never been to Essos, so why would they sound the same? I'm skipping a couple scenes and bringing us to this scene with Alicent and Viserys, who seems to be carving out a model of Valyria. I'm guessing it's Valyria because it doesn't really look like anything that we have in Westeros. But I saw something interesting on the model, which is this part right here. Tell me this doesn't look like Dragonstone. It looks like Dragonstone to me. So maybe when the Valyrians created the outpost, they shaped the castle to look like a citadel that was already in Valyria? I'm not sure, but it definitely looks like Dragonstone. I don't know. You guys gotta tell me what you think. I can't do the other scenes without any speculation or spoilers, so I'm gonna skip those since I know what's gonna happen, and I'll go straight to this name drop right here. A Song of Ice and Fire. I sobbed. I wept. We know this doesn't end the way we wanted. No matter the character you love the most in the series, but I love the subtle touches and hints that they throw in here. I personally think that Daenerys is the prince who was promised because I stan, but in reality, it's more than likely going to be both Dany and Jon in the books. And they played Daenerys' Breaker of Chains theme as soon as Viserys mentions A Song of Ice and Fire.
Called his dream The Song of Ice and Fire. This secret, it's been passed from king to heir since Aegon's time.
And then right after that, Viserys says something to Rhaenyra that is a direct parallel of what Lyanna Stark said to Ned Stark about Jon.
Now you must promise to carry it and protect it. Promise me this, Rhaenyra. Promise me.
Promise me, Ned.
It's just incredibly well done without giving away what's going to happen in George's books. Months ago, when this was hinted that this was going to be brought up in the show, I said, well, why do we care? We know it ends with no meaning, but it doesn't mean we don't get to have a little fun in our journey on the way there. It ties the shows together, and it gives a higher stakes to whoever is inheriting the throne at that time. I'm going to do a speculation video on how I think Aegon's secret could have affected the Mad King. It will feature a ton of book and show spoilers, but I'll be sure to make that clear in the beginning of the video. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about this. I hope this added more context to things that you may have forgotten about, didn't know, or you did know these things and just wanted to support me. Either way, I am grateful and hope to hear some feedback from you guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the Valyria model. I am really interested in that. Or suggest any topics for upcoming videos. Thank you guys. Bye.